Ooh, we are live. This is a That's Good Sports live session. I'm Brendan Perna here with Will Keys. A lot of NFL news shit happening today. From Everson Griffin signing with the Cowboys for a lot less money than he could have made had he just stayed in Minnesota. Travis Kelce and George Kittle both signed massive contracts. And Will, I was going to make a joke once Kittle signed and say, like, well, hopefully this makes Travis Kelce too expensive and the Chiefs will have to not retain him. And I'm glad I didn't tweet that, because then they were quietly working a deal. Like the George Kittle contract, I saw on Twitter yesterday that they were working on it, so I saw it coming, but I had no idea Travis Kelce was going to sign a 4-year extension. Seattle cut a rookie for trying to sneak a girl into the Seahawks team hotel, which is probably the all-time best way to get cut. And then Will and I are going to review the first episode of Hard Knocks that nobody watched. So a lot to discuss today, Will. Are you excited?
I'm like a 6 out of 10. What about you?
Are you titillated?
Not as much as that Seahawks rookie.
Yeah. But first,
We don't know his name.
we
I
do.
don't think you get a name if you don't make it past a week in training camp.
Yeah. You can't go a week without
draft
sex.
rookie quarterback.
You've got bigger issues to figure out in your life. It's like most of us men have gone years without a woman even looking at our naked bodies.
Yeah.
So
You can't make it a few days.
yeah, you can't make it a few days to try to, like, he was an undrafted rookie, so that's really unfortunate. He needed zero excuses to be cut, and he gave him one. First, though, this episode is sponsored by our friends at Raycon. You got the earbuds, Will? Show them.
Right here.
Show those sexy
Right
earbuds.
here.
And now,
Yeah.
I'm going to play my Raycon commercial, and then we'll get into all of those topics. Today's episode is sponsored by Raycon and the Everyday E25 earbuds. Have you ever wanted earbuds so amazing that you could hear subtle, subliminal advertising with outstanding clarity? Buy Raycon.com/ThatsGood wireless earbuds. If you're a fan of my show, but get nervous that I'm going to drop an F-bomb while you're watching with your kids in the room, the E25s and their noise isolating fit are a perfect solution. My dirty words will be our little secret. Personally, I use mine to listen to medieval folk rock on my bike rides, which is proven to be the world's best workout music. The Raycons pack 6 hours of playtime, and there's color options to match your inner spirit animal. Mine, of course, is the owl. Half the price of other wireless earbuds. And since there was no subliminal messages in this ad, I must tell you to click my link in the description to get 15% off your order. Oh yeah, we did that. That is how you play an ad in the middle of a live show. Not completely smooth, because I am resizing the screen as we speak, but I did it all by myself, Will.
A lot of people didn't even think it was possible, including me.
It's like,
And you know what?
Pat McAfee's got 10 guys helping him make a live show every day.
Yeah.
Will and I do it by ourselves. Not every day.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. I don't know.
Well, let us know what you guys think. And while you're doing it, I hope you're listening on Raycon.
every other
I have to do that 10 more
sentence is
times
just
legally.
a plug for another sponsor. It's the sponsored show. We could get rich that way, though.
We sure could.
All right. I want to talk about these signings because they were kind of big, and I found some good tight end information. First, though, we'll go with old Everson Griffin. He signed a 1-year, $6 million deal with the Dallas Cowboys. I completely forgot that he opted out of his contract with the Vikings during the offseason on February 20th, leaving $43 million on the table, only to have most of that wiped away by COVID. He gets $6 million for this season, so he basically forfeited $37 million that he would have made by 2022. He might make some of that back if he plays really well this year. Who the hell knows? I don't think that was the right move.
No, just doing the math.
Call me
I have to agree with you. Probably not the right move. Feels a little bit like the Chris Harris move earlier, where I guess he decided that he wasn't getting paid enough or his contract wasn't his advantage. Turns out you head for greener pastures and end up making less. Good signing for the defense, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys have quite a few edge rushers now on that defensive line that are always supposed to be really good. And then last year, their whole defense it was good again, but I felt like 2018, it looked like they were going to be a really good defense with their linebackers were great. And then last year, they were just all right. But I don't know.
Yeah, you look at the numbers for Dallas last year, and they lost a lot of one-score games, but just going back based off of point differential, they had something like the sixth most points in the division, which
right.
They went 8-8 and still couldn't pull away despite having really like a really underrated year, I thought, from Dak Prescott. Put up a ton of yards.
Yeah, people in the comments before the video started were talking quite a bit about Dak, whether he's overrated or underrated or top 10 quarterback. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. We've said this before, like, he's probably overrated by Cowboys fans and underrated by everybody else.
Yeah. No,
Which is probably most
exactly.
teams' quarterbacks who aren't like top 8 players.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the nature of being a Cowboys player in general, especially their quarterback. But yeah, no, in terms of just raw numbers, he's definitely underrated, I'd argue. He pulled off close to 5,000 yards in a year where Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard were put up like something like 1,800 yards on the ground. So he still had a pretty balanced attack and spread the ball out well and put up 30 touchdowns. But I don't know, man. You got to get it done late in games.
You gotta win the Super Bowl if you want to be a good quarterback and if you want your team to magically have tons of money to sign all of their players. So basically, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl,
Yes.
had $700 in cap space, and with that, went on to sign Patrick Mahomes to a $500 million deal, Chris Jones to an $85 million deal, and extend Travis Kelce with $57 million. It's just like, how did they do that, Will?
Yeah, so essentially it looks like the Chiefs just keep pulling money from in between their couch cushions. But obviously if you look at the way these deals are structured, a ton of them don't kick in until a couple of years down the road. Like the Patrick Mahomes deal is not going to kick in for a couple of years. I think the Travis Kelce deal kicks in like a year later. I'm not sure about the Chris Jones deal. But essentially, yeah, they had like barely enough money to like pay rent this year. They had like $700. And it looks like, they signed these massive deals, but they're really just like pushing back all this shit a couple years, which could end up being a disaster if the salary cap shrinks.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know about a disaster. It could put them in a sticky situation. Like, you have your core guys like signed. They're not going anywhere. So you've got Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes on offense. You retained your best defensive linemen. Unless those guys get hurt, like, you'll be fine figuring out how to spread that money to other players. It's, again, and we've said this for a long time, the salary cap is a myth. It's up to having a smart money man, which the Chiefs do with Veach, right? Like, that guy knows what he's doing. Or is he the GM? Is Veach the GM?
He's the GM, yeah.
Who's the actual money guy? Because it's a different dude who does like the money shit. I forget. Either way.
I don't know, but he needs a better job. He's earned something more important than whatever he does for the Chiefs right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really impressive example of being able to like structure contracts to the team's advantage and still and just like identifying players that they know are good already. They're not paying for potential. They're not paying really for past performance. Although maybe with the Travis Kelce deal, who knows? I don't know if he's going to get much better on the back end of his career.
Yeah, he's 30,
but it's still,
which is
right.
Like the same age as Gronk, essentially. But he's on the team through 2026. So I don't
see him there.
I don't know at 36 how good of a tight end he's going to be. And I didn't get the details of the like contract yet, but I'm sure like those last 2 seasons with Kelce now are probably a time where the Chiefs could get away from him if at 34 he's not dominant, or if he's just like Tony Gonzalez and he can play forever. Like the Chiefs cut Tony Gonzalez about 6 years too early or whatever. You know, he went to Atlanta and just kept playing because they thought he was going to decline and he didn't. So maybe they're just trying not to make that mistake again.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of going against the rule of, the Patriots' mantra of cutting a guy too early before they decline while he's on their roster. But
right,
I don't know. It's really hard to argue with any move they make right now.
I would only cut a guy if he's.
I assume they're cheating though.
I'd only cut a guy if he's trying to fornicate with a girl at the team hotel. That would be my new rule as a GM. Because if I'm not getting laid, nobody's getting laid.
Nobody.
That would be my rule.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with safety or spreading coronavirus, but if I'm not getting laid, nobody's getting laid. And athletes don't have a problem getting laid from everything I know about the world.
I'm trying to think of an athlete right now who probably has like the most trouble getting laid. Like a successful athlete that probably still, has a tough time, like strikes out at the bars.
Wow. That's a good question. We'll think about that.
Big Ben.
Yeah. Good God. Okay, we got a super chat from Raf4. I hate the Broncos, but love you too. That's the best compliment you can give us. Shut up and take my money before the hate returns. Thank you, Raf. We will always take money from haters that love us, but hate us because we're Broncos fans. And that's the thing about like Travis Kelce and all these guys getting signed. And all we wanted this offseason was to see Justin Simmons get signed. It just like pisses me off as a Broncos fan to see the Chiefs just be like, here's some fucking money for everybody. More money, boom! It's right back there. That's how I imagine the Chiefs handle their money.
This is why Brandon likes to stand during podcasts.
Yeah, so I can just dip out and then appear.
You can do the Austin Powers thing. Going down the elevator, going down the escalator, taking the stairs.
Let's see. Justin Martin, Super Chat. I know there are 0 Colts fans outside Indiana, but any thoughts on the floor and ceiling for the upcoming season? The Colts could have a pretty high ceiling if Phillip Rivers doesn't turn the ball over. They're going to get more scoring out of him than I think they did Jacoby Brissett. But I don't know. The Colts have a solid team. Like Rivers went to a good place.
Phil's always going to move the ball, and he's always going to put up points. But at the same time, he's always going to have 2, 3, 4, 8 games where he turns the ball over late and puts the team in a bad position.
Yeah, well, the key will be the Colts need to get leads early. If the pressure's on, Rivers gonna turn it over. But if he's working with the lead, that's when he plays his best football.
Honestly, you're exactly right. Get the lead early. Give the ball to Marlon Mack. Just use that offensive line. And we do have to give the Colts credit for, I think, having a pretty good roster around him. I don't think Phil was working with the Colts level of offensive line play last year.
No.
In LA,
Colts have a really good offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too is I think a big reason the Chargers wanted to get rid of him is because they thought his pocket mobility was taking a step back. I mean, it's hard to when the pocket's collapsing around
Yeah.
you. With that Colts offensive line, he might not have to move it at all.
Yeah.
So,
And
he might be set up well, and anything can happen, you know.
And Rivers likes to take his shots deep, too. So it's not like when, Peyton Manning was playing with a spotty line, but he's just getting the ball away in,
Yeah.
half a second. Peyton
obviously,
Manning could throw the football in less than a quarter of a second. It wasn't even snapped. Manning already threw it. That's how I remember it.
and Rivers has the advantage of being the only quarterback in the league where not having home fans whatsoever is going to be a step up from last season.
Interesting.
So I think Frank Reich, the man knew Phillip Rivers. He coached him in San Diego. He's good with quarterbacks. I don't know. I think we'll see Jacob Eason by week 5.
There you go. Okay, yeah, I want to get to George Kittle, but I got to answer these super chats. Jesus Lord. Kevin Vincent, I never miss an episode of the show. Keep up the great work, guys. Go Chiefs. Chiefs fans giving us the money. It's really a weird world, 2020, you know? Thank you,
we
Kevin.
know about the Chiefs. They have unlimited money. Might as well send it this way.
Yeah, and when your team's winning, like, you show up on the internet because you just want to consume more of being a winner. Gabe Riggs, Chiefs fan here. Love you too. I'm nervous about it when it comes to Tyreek and whether we'll cut him since we signed Hardman. They're not cutting Tyreek anytime soon. John Boy 2645, haven't watched you in a while. Forgot how disappointing it is. You remind me of my alcoholic stepdad. Thank you, Johnny Boy. I don't know if you're serious, but that's a pretty sick burn. I respect the burn. Vox Romantic, there are not many bad days being a Chiefs fan at present. Hate the Broncos, but you guys are great. What happened? I should just start another channel where I just scream about the Chiefs winning every week. And I don't know. I think that might be successful right now. Kyle, too. Congrats on 200,000 subs. It's okay that you hate the Chiefs, Will. I still love you and your fandom for a team with no money. # pay Justin Simmons. Thank you, Kyle. All of that true. Too. We respect all of that. Here's the thing. Okay, George Kittle. $75 million contract for George. Wait, let me try to get this graphic up. Can he do it? Ooh, fucking he did the graphic.
Did it.
So whenever Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter tweet about George Kittle, Pro Football Focus just pops stats under it, and that helps me know what to say about George Kittle. And so, since 2014, that's Travis Kelce. Damn it, I fucked it up. Anyway, George Kittle.
Just keep going.
George Kittle has let's see here. No, give it back to me and Will. Wait for it. Boom. Damn it, I already screwed this up. I suck at running this show. Now we're on opposite sides. Okay, $75 million for Kittle. 45 forced missed tackles since entering the league in 2017. That's the most in the NFL.
44 of them on that one play against the Saints.
Yeah, exactly. Barstool actually broke the George Kittle news today. So they signed Deion Sanders this week, and now they're breaking contract news.
Big week.
Because Kittle's a fan of the Pardon My Take podcast. Here's the interesting tight end facts that I got into here, okay? So, Kittle's 2,945 receiving yards through 3 seasons, the most by any tight end in NFL history. Then if you look at, and he passed Gronk along with Travis Kelce in 2018 there. But Kittle's and Gronk's first 2 seasons are identical. They both had 500 in change receiving yards their first season, and then Gronk set the tight end receiving record the second year with 1,327 yards, and then Kittle broke it with 1,377 yards. And then Kittle could have owned the single game tight end receiving record. He put up 210 against the Broncos, which we definitely remember.
In the first half.
And almost broke Shannon Sharp's record of 214 yards in a single game, which came against the Kansas City Chiefs. Full freaking circle. Sharp still owns that record, so I am glad Kittle did not break it against the Broncos too. That would have been.
That's a game I was at, and
oh, that's right.
It was not. Yeah, they really didn't make any effort to cover him. I think that was the peak of like the Broncos defense never being able to cover tight ends.
Yeah, it's also like I feel like doesn't Corey Dillon still have the single game rushing record?
He did for a while, but Adrian Peterson broke it.
Yeah, because that came against the Broncos.
Yeah.
LT set the single season touchdown record against the Broncos. Like bad
yeah.
when a record's on the line and you're playing the Broncos, you're probably gonna get it. It is painful. Anyway, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, let's say they're the same age. You have to take one wide receiver. Putting your hate aside, or tight end, putting your hate aside, which tight end would you take? If you could remove that Travis Kelce hate from your heart.
Yeah, I mean, they play a lot differently, and Kelce does play more like a wide receiver. And Kittle, I'm taking Kittle too, if, even if Travis Kelce contributes like a little more as a receiver, which, he also has Patrick Mahomes throwing to him instead of Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm taking I'm taking Kittle just because he's a better blocker.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, George Kittle, kind of like the way Gronk was a tight end, the reason they're so good is they do everything really well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the crazy thing is right now both seem pretty durable. Travis Kelce's been really healthy through most of his career, right? He only tried to jerk off on a referee once. So
yeah.
That almost made me love Travis Kelce. But
almost.
But I think I would go with Kittle too, and I think he's just off the field. I think he's funnier, and that's my reason.
He's a lot more likable.
He's a little bit funnier off the field.
Obviously, coming from us, I mean, we've been burned by both.
Yes.
So,
dude,
too much bias.
Yeah, I mean, in Tyreek Hill got the Broncos last year, but I'm always more worried about Travis Kelce when the Broncos play the Chiefs because of what you said earlier, their inability to cover tight ends. So now Kittle's the highest paid tight end in the league, $15 million per season average. Kelce's going to average 14.3 per season. Hunter Henry's getting $10.6 million this season with the Chargers. And if you remember back in, I don't know, like March or April or May, Austin Hooper signed the richest tight end contract, $42 million deal with Cleveland. He's getting $10.5 million. So at the time, like that was a big number for a tight end, a really big number for Austin Hooper. Kittle and Kelce smashed that shit. Gronk, sixth highest paid right now, 9, and Zach Ertz down at $8.5 million, a steal right now. Here's the one that I don't get: is Jimmy Graham still $8 million a season?
Yeah, that one's you can chalk that one up to the Bears.
Yeah, I mean,
Bears love their tight ends. It's not good ones either.
And Jimmy Graham is good, but he has made a lot of money off of the one or two great seasons he had with the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears, the best tight end they've had in a long time was Greg Olsen, and he's the one they didn't pay.
Right.
So make of that what you will. I will say about the Kelce Kittle thing is Travis Kelce had 6 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Kittle had just 4 catches, 36 yards. So neither of them really went off. but
Kelce had the better
pretty
game
even.
in the Super Bowl. He had the better
Kelce was a
quarterback
little
in the
bit
Super Bowl.
Yes, that's part of it.
Also, the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo misses that throw to Emmanuel Sanders. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
He overthrows him.
Stop talking about this game.
Yeah, let's not get into that. Let's get into... Okay, so Seahawks cut Kema Siverand.
Mm-hmm.
Because he dressed up a girl like a football player in a Seahawks uniform and tried to sneak him into the team hotel, which I don't get, because why wouldn't you just dress up a football player like a girl and live out a different fantasy for the week?
And like you can't get in trouble for that, can you?
No. Yeah, you can.
I think so.
Everybody's been tested. It's the safest time to experiment if you're a football player curious about your sexuality. My question for you is, what's the craziest thing you've ever done for a girl that didn't pan out for you?
Oh.
Because basically, this is just like a guy will do almost anything to get laid, even if it jeopardizes his career sometimes.
I mean, like, how, like, is this much worse than, like, going to a bar and buying a girl a drink when clearly she's just, like, ready to, like, get the drink and then go walk away to her friends? At least this one, there was, like, she's taking a risk, too.
Yeah.
There's clearly interest from both sides. I'd say this is less humiliating than what most guys experience every night going out.
Yeah.
I do want to say, too, like, do you think this isn't happening in the NBA at the bubble, or they're just better at it?
They might be better at it. I mean, you sent me that, was it Donovan Mitchell's Instagram, where it sounded like sex was happening on his Instagram Live? Yeah. I think they made like a rule about Instagram models aren't allowed into the bubble. Like, female Instagram models aren't allowed. I don't know. We should do some research on that.
Yeah, I mean, what constitutes an Instagram model? To be fair.
I don't know.
Some would call you an Instagram model. You do model for brands.
Yeah.
Like Manscaped.
Yes.
You know, you're a
they never
sponsored
ask
model.
me to show my body, but I do as often as I can.
Well, it's called going above and beyond.
It is.
And they keep coming back, so clearly they're okay with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, my body sells.
Do you have, I'll flip the question back around on you. Do you have a story more embarrassing than that one?
No, I was hoping you did.
I'm trying to think.
Probably it's not embarrassing, but I let my wife get 2 cats, you know? I knew if I said yes to cats, I would probably lead to sex. And I did not want cats. Like, I should make it known, like, I did not want any animals. But, like, that's a crazy thing to do for a woman.
Yeah, that's a big sacrifice. I dated a girl with, like, I'm not exaggerating, I think 5 cats.
That's too many.
And yeah, no, I didn't. I at the end of the day, I like to say that I made the choice because of the too many cats, but I'll just chalk it down as there were too many cats, and it also didn't work out.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if
blame it on the cats.
Blame it on the cats. Any number of those cats.
Okay, so finally, the final topic here, unless we get more questions to answer, is Hard Knocks. So what we wanted to do was watch Hard Knocks and then do a Hard Knocks recap because Hard Knocks is big every year, and I didn't feel like
you guys, yeah,
I didn't feel like many people were watching it. Yeah, and it turns out the ratings were down by about 500,000 viewers. So normally it gets like 750,000. It got like 250,000 on HBO. It's following the Chargers and the Rams, of course. We both watched it. It was not as interesting for many reasons, but I wanted to know, like, I guess what your takeaway was after watching one of those.
Yeah, it was just kind of like people want sports or sports documentary show as an escape. and all the protocols and all of the mask wearing and the distancing, seeing all of that play out and just like the process behind it was not an escape. It was like almost like anxiety inducing. And I think they spent probably too much time on that, to be honest. And I think people just like at a certain point, we want like football, and we wanted to see more football.
Well,
I think it'll get better next week. I think.
Yeah. I think there'll be
realize that.
A significant difference from week 1 to week 2 because they were still only allowed to do walkthroughs. Like, you put HBO. Well, HBO might have put themselves in a shitty situation by deciding to start it actually on August 11th, knowing like not much was going to be happening. But we got a montage of them like sanitizing shit. I was watching, I was like, this is unnecessary. Like, I get it. And the one thing, the takeaway from that was that like NFL teams are trying really hard to make this work. So it gives you a little bit of like reassurance that they might be able to pull this off and play most of their games this season and get through a season. But you're right, in terms of like an escape, you're just like, oh God, they're dealing with it just like we are. Also, they saved the best part for the credits when Sean McVay was going off about the porta potty and guys shitting in the porta potty and how you should only pee in the porta potty. You open with that. You hook people with that, is my opinion.
That's the cold open. Or the warm up, maybe.
Also, I thought Anthony Lynn seems pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, likable.
Very likable.
I thought he was pretty likable. Justin Herbert came off as like seems like just an okay kid, like a good enough guy.
Yeah. Kind of feels like an afterthought right now. Looks like Tyrod's. It might actually be Tyrod's job to lose. And I always forget how deep Tyrod Taylor's voice is. He sounds like a man quarterback.
And he's not like a very big guy either.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we probably missed out by a year not having Phil on Hard Knocks, because that would have been instant content for us.
Phil?
What do you think about the Philip Rivers?
Oh, right. Yes,
Do I have to clarify?
Sorry. Yeah, it would have been so much better. Like Rivers, because Sean McVay's got a good personality. Anthony Lynn seemed cool. Yeah, it would have worked better with Rivers. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, this is also like the second time in, 4 years we've had the Rams on Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
That's another issue.
Maybe a little bit of fatigue. They were also on All or Nothing and Hard Knocks that one year. So that was kind of...
yeah, that's a lot.
I don't know. That was without McVay, but I noticed about McVay, and I guess I knew this before, but it really hit home. He really just does sound exactly like Gruden.
Yeah, he does.
Just like a smaller version. I don't even know if he's smaller, but he is just like a mini Gruden. We basically had Gruden in back-to-back seasons.
He's 5'10" and ripped. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much, Will. He's 5'10" and ripped.
I'll tell you that much, man. Let me tell you something, man. Jared Goff, man. Took that shirt off.
I'll tell you this. There was one nugget in Hard Knocks that maybe people didn't notice. But Bill Parcells basically forced Anthony Lynn to go and coach in Cleveland so he could never get laid.
Yeah, I mean, he probably had to sneak in. He probably had to dress up a girl or two as a Browns player to make that work.
He said he had another coaching job lined up. Bill Parcells was like, I got a coaching job for you in Cleveland. And he wouldn't hear that Anthony Lynn had another job. And then Anthony Lynn read that the worst city in America for single men at the time was Cleveland. But he met his wife there. So it was a lovely story. But basically, Bill Parcells coaches the way I would. Nobody's getting laid if I'm not getting laid. See? Another full circle. Callback. Nailed it. Boom.
I imagine like Bill Parcells calling a team meeting. It's like, men, I busted last night. You all get 90 minutes. Make of it what you will. You get one phone call.
One phone call. That's all it takes.
Practice starts at 11:30.
Fret Level Midnight Super Chat. Perna, show me your stuff, slut. What stuff? I'm not here to show my tidbits. And Brother Bean, 690,
kind of show.
Just to say nice. Thank you, Brother Bean. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Joey Bosa has tattoos on his high upper thigh. Did not know that. And it was interesting seeing NFL players being scared to get their nose swabbed for the COVID test. Like, these are guys who go out on a football field and risk all sorts of shit, but somebody's got to shove something in one of your orifices. It scares any man. It can scare any man. I found that surprising and humanizing.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't gotten one of those tests. I don't know if you have.
I haven't either.
Yeah, and I never seen it happen.
I've seen some where they go really high into the nose. These ones, it seemed like they kept it pretty respectable.
I was gonna say, if that's what most people get, it didn't look that bad. I mean, granted, it probably feels weird still, but I expected them to go way the hell up there, which makes me a little tingly thinking about. It's an orifice that doesn't get explored very much. Maybe by your own finger, depending on how old you are, but who knows?
I'll dig them out. I'll dig them out with my finger.
I'll put on an acrylic nail and start excavating.
I'll have my wife gel my nails so I can dig for gold.
Yeah. Might get a little bleeding, but
oh well. All right.
It's the price of gold.
We did a live stream. Don't forget to thumbs it up, people. That's free. You don't even have to pay for that. I think that's all we got, unless anybody has anything important.
Yeah, if you want to fire some questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Forever hold your peace, or until we make another episode.
Yeah, I do think Hard Knocks, the good part about having it as literally a live show, a living show, and being able to get feedback and then make another episode is I think they'll take that to heart and really focus on football kind of narratives. Because you did have a few things they focused on that Chargers cornerback, the Jalen Ramsey scene where he got mad on Zoom.
Yeah, that was
pretty
good.
Interesting. And then the Chargers tight end that got cut.
And was pissed.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, he's a real dick about it.
I don't think we've ever seen that on Hard Knocks. Usually it's guys just yeah, thank you, coach. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. And then, finally, after whatever, close to 20 years of this show, someone's just what the fuck?
Yeah.
Can't cut. And it worked. It got him, on the coach's good side.
When they can start hitting in practice, that'll make things a little more interesting out there. Those stories were good. Jalen Ramsey, it was I enjoy explaining the guys to my wife because we watch it together. She really likes Hard Knocks, and so I like explaining Jalen Ramsey's backstory of when he called out every quarterback in the league and what kind of personality he is. And she was that tight end. She's he's being a dick. Why is he being such a dick to the coach? Well, he's mad. And then, Anthony Lynn's I kind of liked it. I kind of liked how mad he got.
Yeah, no, maybe uncomfortable for a little bit at first. I thought they might start swinging, but no, maybe that's the key to making a team is just getting pissed off all the time.
Yeah, and some players might be signed by these teams this week, and as they got to whittle down the roster, it should make it more interesting. But this is going to be a challenging season for them. We got another super chat. Manny650. Sup Will and Perna what's sup Perna /Will/key emoji. Nice touch for Will Keys. Y'all dab during games? ? No, I cannot. I cannot do dabs during games because I would be out of my mind trying to write football. I haven't dabbed for a long time, actually. I should probably do that before my baby comes.
One last time.
One last dab.
So like a week later, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't that bad.
Yep. All right, thank you guys for joining in on the live stream. We're going to do live streams after all of the Sunday football games this season, and hopefully maybe one more during the week. I got to figure out how I do football videos and have a child in the house. So, but Sundays, we're going to be live every Sunday during football season. So, thank you guys.
Your flagship show.
Love you. Bye.
See you guys.